Hey guys, how you doing today? My name is Elias Troyer, and today we are going to be hitting chest day. We're able to push it super hard today. We're going to spend a lot of the day, drinking enough water and getting enough food. So we end up coming in on the scale somewhere around 185, 186 would be pretty nice. We decided to start the cut. I'll be talking about that a little bit more in today's video, so stick around. I'll catch y'all in the gym.
Let me tell you what, we ate good today. There's that crazy chicken that they had in town, which I had no idea that they even had good chicken. So yeah, we ended up taking our pre and going to the gym. Actually, the Smith machine is regularly taken up, and so I've decided that I was going to start progressively overloading this converging chest press machine instead as my primary movement. And you're able to load it up decently, but it does get super heavy, and especially in these reps, I really had to push to get everything. And so I ended up doing 3 sets of those. My last set, I only got 8 instead of closer to 12 or 11, which is all right, Then I always end up having at least 2 sets of these super heavy tricep push downs, more as a compound exercise than a tricep isolating exercise. For the lower chest, the triceps, and the shoulders a little bit. And it's always super important, in order to focus on the lateral head for the shoulders. Something that I've actually steered away from was working on my front delt. Yeah, I used to do a lot of overhead dumbbell shoulder presses and progressively overloading that up. But I've kind of steered away from it this split. Just because, if I'm doing some super heavy pressing movements, my front delts will get hit decently. And then also I found out through this one YouTuber, it's a channel called Renaissance Periodization. And it's a professor of sports science, and he's got some incredible stuff. He emphasizes, a deep stretch above anything else and progressively overloading. He's absolutely great. You should definitely, go check him out. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration in order for how I end up programming my lifts, especially my, big lifts that I end up doing. But yeah, and so one of the things that he preaches is that your rear delts don't need a lot of isolated work. So I've started to kind of pull back on those, just because if you end up doing heavy enough, any variation of rows and, any kind of pull down movement, your rear delt should be getting stimulated just about as much as your front delts do when you end up doing heavy pressing movements. And so he said one of the things he preaches is that, if you're going to do a shoulder day, really focus on the lateral head, if anything. And to work on my isolating movements, I end up always having some kind of, isolating movement for the tricep on my push days, just so I'm able to, actually build my triceps, because I'm only doing those, here I am getting mogged. Because even if I'm just doing those super heavy push downs, my triceps will grow, but not to the extent that I would like them to, because it's more of a compound exercise than anything. And I've always found that using the D handle with these end up helping a lot. And with this, I'm able to, give myself a few, assisted reps, which is very nice. Yeah, today's lift definitely felt nice. We're able to push it, decently heavy. My main movement, I ended up keeping the same weight, but I ended up upping my reps, which was very nice. And now I ended up getting 12 reps for the first set, 11 for the second, and then only 8 for the third. I think that's partially due to because I didn't take as much rest time as I should have. And so, yeah, so next push day, I'll end up, adding a few more pounds on to the compound movement. something that I preach a lot is, drink a lot of water and then also just progressively overload. So I guess now let's go to the post-workout check-in.
All right, y'all. Let me tell you that was actually one of my favorite push days, I think, of all time. Came in on the scale at 187, so I'm definitely holding a bit more water, but it definitely makes me look significantly more freaky. Yeah, for sure. Oh, let me tell you, I'm feeling incredibly full. The shape's coming back, like shoulders are capped, lats are popping. Chest has a nice pump. Now that I'm holding more water, actually, it seems like the parts of my physique that are really coming through is actually my back, even though I didn't even train it today. Back, and then also the shoulder pump today is wild. It actually makes me think that I really need to get my chest to catch up with the rest of my physique. It's a little strange. As y'all saw, just genetically, good chest genes run in the family. And, mine are, my chest is fully connected here. And, a little bit easier for me to build upper portion of my chest. Compared to some other people, I think that's just due to kind of bone structure. My collarbones aren't quite as wide as some other people. Makes it a little bit easier to fill in the chest. It means there's not as much space for my chest itself. Yeah, it's actually kind of strange. My bone structure isn't incredible. In fact, actually, my friend Judah has incredible bone structure. If you want to come over here real quick, you can see that with him. He's got incredibly wide clavicles, which means that he has more room for his actual chest itself, but it means it's going to be harder to fill in his chest muscle bellies. Whereas with me, I have slightly smaller clavicles, my collarbones, which means that not as much space for the chest, but it means that I'm able to fill in my chest a lot easier than someone like Judah could. It also means that in the long run, we will be able to add in more muscle into the actual chest itself. I kind of make up for this just because naturally my delts are capped. And so, it adds into the illusion of width, if anything. Which means that it's nice for me to put on size onto my shoulders, but it's a little bit more tough in terms of genetic potential. Whereas Judah, he has crazy bone structure. So he's able to, fill in his chest. If he can really fill it out, his chest is going to be incredible.
If that's a question.
And then just the way that, actual muscle bellies insert, are very different. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. I can't wait to fill in some of this right here.
Upper chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Judah hasn't been able to hit chest for a while because he has some injuries within one of his shoulders. But he'll start training pretty soon. It's been about 6 months since you've actually trained shoulders and chest.
Yep. Consistently, yeah.
Yeah. So, incredible push day. And I guess catch y'all in the next one.